Alright, this is an amateur's attempt at fixing a phone screen. Now what we're going to do is just replace the glass. I've looked online at some reviews on how to do it on YouTube and such, and basically on the Note, I think they said the Note 2 and Note 3, this is a Note 3, the glass is just glued to the top of it. So it's just sitting up here. You don't have to take it apart to get to it from the back or anything, because the glass just sits just glued to the top of the phone. On eBay, I bought this, I think it was like $5 or $6, and it comes with the front glass, and you can see on here it does say Samsung. On some of them it doesn't say Samsung, they're like just really generic, but this looks like it's like the real deal. And it comes with also, what you have to have is adhesive that binds this glass through this adhesive onto the phone. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to try to follow the directions, and here you can see the cracks in it. This is my son's phone. He was actually filming, and he had it on a little tripod, and the wind blew the tripod over and right onto the concrete. So we'll see how easy it is. The people who've shown how to do it online, like YouTube videos, they said that it's something that you have to do for a while, and they broke a lot of them. So I don't know what's going to happen on here, because if you break the screen behind it, then you're stuck going out and buying the digitizer, which is the screen behind the glass is the digitizer, and if you break the LCD screen or LED screen behind it, then you're stuck buying. It's going to cost you a lot more than $6 for this. So a lot of them say take it in to get it fixed, but I'm going to give it a shot. Why not? This is an older phone. It's a Note 3. I mean, worst case scenario, if I do blow it, I'll get him a new phone. But we're going to give it a go. One thing they say to do is get a heat iron. Some of them had like real high powered hair dryers, and they'd heat this up evenly over a long period of time to get that glue that holds the glass piece that goes on top of here. There's glue in between there that glues that to the digitizer that actually senses your finger where it touches. So once you get that hot enough, then you can just basically like peel it off, like you're going to just peel that glass off in such a way without hurting the digitizer underneath. So that's what we're going to try to do, is get a hair dryer and try it and see if it starts coming up easy enough. If it doesn't come up easy enough, then we're going to have to get an actual heat gun and put more heat onto it. Just got to be careful, because if you put too much heat, it'll actually distort the LCD screen, LED or LCD screen behind there, and then you're going to have these weird spots on there. So let's get started. Okay, now we had a this is a hair dryer. It's 1875, so I guess it's 1,875 watts of heat coming out of that thing. So it's pretty heavy duty. Oh yeah, that's hot. Pretty heavy duty hair dryer. And so I've turned off and took off the battery. And then what they say is, oh yeah, it's good and toasty, man, is to start from the top up here and then just try to get underneath there. I really need a razor blade, I think. Oh yeah, it's hard to hold. It's so hot. So I did that for about 5 minutes and just kind of went back and forth, so I didn't just get in one spot real hot. But I think the hardest part's going to be getting started, like just getting a piece of it up. And this, I bought at Dollar Tree, but it's a little too thick, I think, to get up under there. I was thinking once this glass is kind of up a little bit, then you could start scraping it to get it off. But I think right now it's going to need a razor blade. So I'm going to get a razor blade and then be right back. Alright, I'm going to try. I got a pocket knife here. Try to get in there and get it started. Oh, it's so shattered. Oh, see it? Started to come loose a little bit. Look at that. Oh, there's a little piece. See, there's first blood. Hang on, I don't know if you can see. Oh, there it is. First blood. So we'll just keep going and try to get some of these pieces off. So yeah, that's a piece of it right there. And we'll just keep going here and see how far we can get before hopefully not break the screen. But yeah, you can still feel the heat on this thing. But yeah, without the heat, I kind of poked out a little bit without the heat, and it would do nothing. I mean, you would not get it off there without breaking the rest of it, or breaking the LCD screen and the digitizer. So there's so many different shards of glass, but they're all glued together, so they're coming off. See that? and you can still feel the phone is hot. So a hair dryer may actually work. I've heard a lot of people say the hair dryers didn't get hot enough, but like I said, that's an 1875 amperage. 1875, so maybe that's what it, if you get a big enough model, then it might work. So let's just keep going here and see what happens. All these little shards of glass. I'm glad. Yeah, I put this paper towel down here just because of that. I didn't want shards to go everywhere. Let's see here. So we're just going to keep going here. Yeah. I'm going to speed up this video. So this is what we have so far. So we're just going to kind of keep going in here and see how far we can get. Okay, we're doing the hair dryer technique, but it's just taking too long. And the problem with this phone is the screen was so cracked that you can't just put the suction cup on there and heat it up and just pull the whole screen off, because there's just so many pieces. So what I did is I got this aluminum pan and I put the oven on the stovetop on low and just put it in here and just let it heat up. So what I'm doing is just letting it heat up, and then once it heats up, I'll pull it off. And as you can see, just the tedious process of grabbing a little piece here, little shards will come off and then go to the next piece, and then shards come off and then go into the next piece. So like, for instance, this here, once it heats up, they'll start coming off pretty good, but until it heats up, it's a pain. So yeah, you can see just little piece by piece, they'll come off, but it's a slow process. See, there's a little piece, and I just wipe it off and go to the next one. This is going to take a long time, but I think eventually we'll get there. So what I'll do is I'll just keep taking off pieces until it starts getting harder to come off. And once it starts getting harder, then I'll put it back on the stove for maybe 5 minutes, and go do something else, and I'll come back and then do a little more, and then just kind of go back and forth, put it on the stove. So yeah, it seems like these manufacturers are extremely smart engineers. It seems like they could engineer a screen that's easy to replace. Like, let's say your glass breaks, well, no problem. Just buy another piece of glass and take 2 screws off and pop it on. So it's interesting that it's this much work. So here's a little piece here, and what I'll do is I'll just kind of move it up a little bit, and then you'll see it start to come up, and just keep pressure on it, and then it'll just eventually kind of come up by itself, and then just take it off, and then go again, just go to the next piece. But this is so sharded, see that? And then just put a little pressure on it, and then get it up under there. I got these tools that came with it. I haven't really been using them, but I guess I might have to try them. It's like a guitar pick, and you're supposed to be able to get that up in there. I'm not doing too good with those. This knife has actually done the best. It's just the easiest. It's really sharp, and it kind of gets up under there. I guess the reason I do like a knife too is you can kind of get back away from it, because if you're up there with a razor blade and you miss, and it could go, kind of go like that, and a shard come up and cut you. This kind of keeps you away from the action. But see, so there's another piece. So that's how it's been, just one piece after another, slow, tedious process. But it is coming. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and just kind of keep doing what I'm doing, back and forth, one piece at a time, and then I'll come back once we get it all off, and then we'll put on the new screen. All right. Okay, so we just finished off getting the last pieces of this, and as you can see, it's all off. So yeah, it was just it just took a lot of time to put it on the heat. It was on low temperature on the pan, and I just left it upside down on there, and then just took and just kept scraping pieces off little by little. Down here where the buttons are, you have to be careful, because you can see this right here, this little piece that it's a captive button that you press. You got to be careful not to just pull it off, because the glass will be stuck to it and it'll pull the whole thing off. So that's basically it. Just keep scraping away and taking your time, and then once it starts getting hard and the pieces won't come off good, put it back on the pan and let it set for I let it set for about 4 or 5 minutes, went and did something, and then come back and then scrape a little more and then put it back on the pan. So just back and forth. It's just going to take a long time. Okay, so what we're going to do now is we're going to try to get this stuff off. I don't really have anything to take off glue, so I do know that like WD-40 will cut through like when you take off your inspection sticker on your car, or your you can use this to get the glue off. So if you have some WD-40, I've seen online they had other stuff, like on reviews they had actually stuff made for glue, but this seems to be working pretty good. So basically, as you can see it, I'm just sitting here. It's just taking a little time, not getting any hurry, just getting it a little by little, but it cuts through it, so you can see it's coming off. So try some WD-40 if you have some of that laying around the house. That stuff stinks though. And then I'll come back. I'm going to row on this for a while and come back, and then we'll get ready to put the new glass on. Alright, we're at the finish line. Okay, now we got the phone all cleaned up, and now what we're going to do is put this adhesive piece on there that came with it, and this is going to go onto here, and then once that's done, this will go onto the adhesive piece, and then that'll be it. So hopefully we'll see how it goes. So it looks like on this you just peel it off, and it's going to take 2 hands and stick it on there, and then once that's stuck on there, then we'll come back and we'll stick this on there. So I'm going to go ahead and pause this and get this on there, and then come back, and then we'll put this on there and then turn it on, and hopefully everything works. So we got our little button on here because that came off. You just stick it on there, and then make sure that's in good place when you're putting on the seal there. And then these little buttons also. Alright, we'll be back in a minute. Alright, this is the film. It looks like what it is a film that has the adhesive on it on the sides. So it looks like you take and push it on here real hard, and then you'll pull this plastic off, and then the adhesive will stay around the sides. And then at that point, we'll put the glass on there. You may have to actually heat this up a little bit, because it doesn't seem like this adhesive staying that good. I think it's trying to stay more on the little plastic sheet than it is coming off onto the phone itself. Alright, so let's see here. It'll come off now if it's going to stay. Yeah, looks like it's staying on there. Oh, this piece is trying to come up. Uh-oh, not good. Not good. It's very thin. Oh, that little button's trying to pop off too there. Not a problem. Oh, there it goes. Okay, so there's it's kind of hard to see, there's the glue strip that goes all around this. It's very thin. So now we're going to try to pause this, and we'll get the other piece ready. This is the final piece. We'll put this on, we'll be done. So here it is. It has sticky on both sides, so we're going to take off this back side first, and then hopefully get everything lined up, get this button lined up on there, and at that point, stick it on there and then get a hair dryer, heat it up really good, and keep pressing it on there, and hopefully it'll stay on there because it just sticks on there. What, baby?
What's that?
All right, so here we go. We're gonna take this off and see what happens. This has to be lined up perfectly. It's not gonna work. Okay. So yeah, you wouldn't want to touch the glass. That. Or break the glass. Alright, there we go. So we got the backing off now. What we want to do is try to set this on there. Okay, now what I'm going to do is, oh, it's almost back. It's looking pretty good. If it works. Oh my God. This is quite a bit of work. It's more work than I actually thought it was going to be. But if it works, my son will be very happy. Alright, so I'm going to pause it, get the hair dryer, heat it up, and just push it down some more, and then we'll take off the plastic, fire it up, and see what happens. Alright, so here we are. We got the cover on. It seems like it's on there pretty good. And we're going to put the battery in. And then we're going to put the back on. Yeah, I just took the hair dryer and heated up the front and kind of pressed on it and with a towel. And just kind of went over it to kind of press that seal into place. So let's fire it up, see what happens. Huh? Oh, we're going to put some clean clothes on you, baby. Hang on. Huh? You going to go eat? Yeah, we'll get some Oreos in just a minute. Hang on, just a second, I'm almost done. Yeah, hang on. Let me get this done, baby, then we'll get some. And so, let's see. Alright, there we go. We got it up and running. And Drake, you want to take a look at your new phone, buddy?
Looks good.
So, you like it?
Yeah.